Hello guys, welcome to the Galactic War lore videos. I'm the DM for the Galactic War Aftermath. Now, what this will tell you the lore behind what happened during the Galactic War. So, before I start, let's see, before I start, I must warn you that first off, the following lore video may reference iconic characters or locations from various game, movies, or TV shows. Under the fair use, these characters and/or locations are meant purely for entertainment purposes. Dragon Destiny does not claim to own any of the copyright for each of these characters, and as such, can use them under the fair use policy. So, that's out of the way. Let's start with what the war was. The Great Galactic War was a galactic war, as it says, between the two most powerful, well, the only two superpowers, well, entities, governmental entities in the galaxy. First was called the United Galactic Alliance. This once was a coalition of many noble sci-fi governments. Yeah, governments. The main ones are the System Alliance, Unite Earth, the Republic, and the Federation. With also others like the Swords of San Helios, many others. Too many to actually count on to say in this video, but still, it was a alliance between all these governments. What control half the galaxy. On the other hand was the one called the United Galactic Empire. This empire was the very opposite of the Galactic Alliance. Authoritarian nature. And it brought every nation, every country, every space civilization it found, it brought it to its knees and forced it underneath this wing. Oh boy, I'm starting today. So, those are the two powers involved. Next is what happened. Let's go back a little bit for the Galactic War. During the Reaper Wars, when the United Galactic Alliance was just the United Galactic Coalition, as it says, a coalition of governments in the pursuit of protecting them against the Reaper threat. Now, during this, the Galactic Empire was formed out of the remnants of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, under a new leader who we never got to see before, but theory was he was a protege to Palpatine, what was hidden from the world. How the theories were. He'd go by the name of the Dark Emperor. A very distinct character with so much. His power level is on par to some of the best Jedi's. So he took over he was a very concerning target during the war. But during the Reaper Wars, we did agree, the Galactic Empire and the United Galactic Coalition agreed to do one thing: join together to destroy the Reaper threat. Which, by doing so, the Galactic Empire made one request: that it can take half the galaxy by doing so. And we were in a losing position, so we had to accept to the Galactic Coalition. The United Galactic Coalition had to accept. So, with this new ally, we were able to drive back a lot of the Reaper threat. We were losing less people as the droids start to take over take all alongside of our allies. And when the war came to a close, the agreement was set. We cut the galaxy in half. And after the coalition was over, we just signed an alliance called the Galactic Alliance Treaty. Pretty much saying anyone who signed this treaty will be a part of the alliance and have all military technological research, are able to share ship designs, able to trade without any worry, and also able to protect each other if war is called. And so, the base of operations, the Citadel, was moved to the capital of the Republic, Coruscant, to give it more room, make it more what is the word I'm thinking of? I know, the word I'm thinking of. Make it where we have our capital world with a very, very tough space station to hide our government, our governmental figures. So, after the Reaper Wars, what happened? There was another war, a small skirmish between the pirate factions and the now called Galactic Alliance and the now called the United Galactic Empire. This was the second time they worked together, but it was a lot more unstable this time. Arguments between the command structure of both sides led to a lot of casualties between both sides. It took them a lot longer to take out the pirate threat than anticipated if they worked more cohersively. Well, the pirate threat was eliminated. At this point, you would think, since they worked together, they wouldn't be war. But you are wrong. In the era of 41, I'm trying to, Lord. Come back here. In 4140, this is where the original D&D campaign takes place, but I will explain the actual lore than what happened in the original D&D campaign. We have the class of the graduation of 4140 class. And I will explain that each planet is dedicated to one of the fleet comms. Our fleet comms they're like the biggest conglomeration of fleet. They are the whole fleet of a sector. And each sector has their own military planet. For this side, we are on the we're on the side of the galaxy, which is controlled underneath the first fleet, or the Alpha Fleet Comm. Of course, this is where the most amount of power is on the borders of the United Galactic Empire and the recently declared United Galactic Alliance. On the borders, all the major fleet comms, the first 5, are on the border. The biggest controlled area is by the FleetCom Alpha, or Alpha FleetCom, which is stationed at the planet Reach. It's the head sector of the military, well, military training, military development, everything we do military is down at Reach. So, as the graduation was finishing for the class, they were attacked, and the war started. When the war started, it was a surprise attack. FleetCom was unprepared, the Admiral was on the ground, the Fleet Admiral was on the ground giving the ceremony speech, and the enemy fleet jumped in without our FTL detectors online. With this, they had a surprise attack. It wasn't for the fact that most of the Alpha fleet was already surrounding the planet. It would have been devastating without the help of the planetary defense fleet, and also the defense array around Reach. So, this is where everything gets interesting with the Galactic War. Because this takes place in my personal world, where all the sci-fi I like are in one. This is where the war truly begins, because the Dark Emperor soon declared war after the military forces move in. And all across the border we were attacked. But most of the story takes place at Reach. The Alpha Fleet is the main focus, and so is the Alpha Fleet Admiral is the main focus of the Great Galactic War stories. So, with this we don't focus much more on other actions, but we do sometime here and there. But, remember, this is a very technological advanced war. So it was bloody, the first battle. Many people lost their lives, and just the civilian casualties alone was in the hundreds. It could have been worse if it wasn't for the act of the 4th Platoon. Or Alpha Platoon. Alpha Platoon is the platoon led by the Alpha Fleet's Admiral's son and daughter, whose technical minds are beyond brilliant. And also the fact that we had hidden warships built into some mountains of the Reach. Mainly the United Galactic Federation Bismarck, Prince Eugene, and Admiral Hipper. These three, a escort battleship and 2 escort heavy cruisers, are the only class of part of the Legacy series of warships, named after legendary warships from every government. From every governmental body of the United Galactic Alliance. Each of them has multiple ships in the Legacy class named after very important people or ships in their history. No matter what side the ship was on, there'll be a ship named after it. And the appropriate number built. So with this surprise, not even the United Galactic Empire knew about this. The land battle was over before it started. After the ships were revealed. And civilian casualties, even though around high numbers, it was a lot less expected because the planet had a small amount of civilian presence on it anyway. Reach did. So, with this fact, it switched to the space that we regain control of the planetary surface and atmosphere. With this, we were able to get Admiral back up to his warship, and the fight truly began in space. With the 50 states having an admiral and full control, and someone who's able to sit in the admiral's seat and have everything what need to be shown to the admiral. All the important information and how many ships are about to be destroyed, when the ship should be jumped out, and what the enemy's stats are like. So, as the war rages on other parts of the galaxy, the Galactic Emperor, the Dark Emperor, makes his appearance at Reach with his flagship. The flagship was actually a stolen 50 states design. The flagship of the United Galactic Alliance. And originally was meant to be the 6-1, but it was stolen out of space stock before it could be named and also fully armed. It was halfway armed, so it was forced to escape the battle. Again, Reaper Wars has happened. So it was, thought to be nothing at the time because it was unarmored. Not really expecting much from it. So, when this hopped in, it immediately pointed out the 50 states, the first of the class, and the most well-renowned warship. With this, a titanic battle began. These warships are, by the way, at 25 miles long at this point in time. They are covered from bow to front with guns. It has roughly 4, 8, 16, 4, 8, 16, 16, well, 4, 8, 16, 20, 8, 12, 16. It has 16 on each side of it. It has 8 on each small hangar in clusters on each side of it. Then on the bottom, it has tertiary hangars on the bottom, mainly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tertiary hangars on the bottom. And finally, the way it's designed is built more around a Avenger style warship. So it has a massive hangar bay going down the middle of it. The main hangar bay. With all this, the Galactic, the 56 is a very hard to describe warship. Very difficult to describe because it's a dreadnought, but a carrier at the same time. What has stealth abilities, so it's hard to really categorize it as a Pacific warship type. It is normally referred as a super heavy dreadnought because that's what it was really built to be. Even though it's based off of Venator, it does have more guns than a regular Venator, of course. It has up top a plasmatic turbo cannon, and a plasmatic turbo cannons are it uses particles to create a magnetic field around to make plasma in a. Okay, it's particles with plasma surrounding. The particle add magnetic fields. We'll pretty make the plasma into a shape of a shell. The shell has drop, of course, because it's still a particle. It has a range limit. But even with the range limit, it is vastly superior than most other weapon types. Because it's not really a laser, it's a cannon. And the 50 states is equipped with a quad barrel. All these are quad barrel for main armament. Well, the main turreted armament have, at the time, only about, well, 5 on it, 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 total. 5 on each side, and 5 on top, 10 on top, 10 on bottom. So it had a wide range of fire. Then, it has multiple other gun types, ranging from railguns to PDWs to plasma lasers to Talkion beams. Pretty much any weapon type you can think of, it has been mounted to 50 states or is currently mounted to 50 states for a sci-fi. And it's armed to the teeth with missiles. It is equipped with multiple nuclear missiles with near the back half with 6 on each side. What holds up to 2 each, so you have 24 nukes on it at 25 miles long before it needs to use its advanced energy to matter projector to create more, which takes time. But off the 50 states, I'll do a specific lore video about that later. With this war, many things changed. Everything changed in the Galactic Federation. We were forced into the war against an empire just as powerful as us. So it was a long war. It took from 4140 to 4240. Maybe 4120 to 4220, but there was still more conflict after 4220. So we say it truly ends at 4240. And what did the war accomplish? It accomplished nothing except one thing: the complete and utter destruction of the United Galactic Empire, and it's being forced underneath the United Galactic Alliance and the creation of the United Galactic Federation. And with the Galactic Federation, with all the galaxies under their control, the story of Andromeda begins. A hunt for new planets, a hunt for science, a thirst for it. And so this is where I leave the video off. I hope you guys enjoyed this short video, the Great War lore videos. I'll be doing more lore videos soon. Next up will be the lore video behind the important ships of the Galactic Coalition and the stolen 50 states. Now, right, next lore video is about the Dreadnought herself. How to describe her? The Undying Giant, the 50 states herself. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.